Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Initially, I am going to do a saga, but we have another family thing going on. So I'm going to shorten this video. I'm going to go get in the shower and get myself ready for bed because one of my nephews has had a physicality injury and he just got into surgery or just got out of surgery or whatever. So I'm not going to be here that long. So earlier I was talking about a video with Mr. Davis such and such coming down on the rock. And because the rock supported Biden, etc. Alright. So the truth be told is that people who are mixed, we do not have a support system. Which I got off of track, so I'm not going to get off of track this time. Alright. This little asshole left his water in my room. I'm going to choke him. It's the last damn thing I do. Sorry. Another nephew. Okay. So here's the thing. I grew up multicultural. Mostly we did black stuff. However, because of my ethnicity, I was not always accepted by black people. I've not always been accepted by white people. Rarely accepted by Native American people. In other words, my racist incidences have mostly been from black people with reverse racism. I had a few incidents with white racists, and they were just evil because they were just being white and evil. Not all white people are evil, not all white people are racist, but black people are equally racist and can be equally evil at the same time. As for that, it's a common denominator of there are good people and bad people in all ethnicities. Now, growing up mixed, when I go home, I don't go home to people who have the same ethnicity parents' homes. Alright? You have the black way and the white way. Before I found out I was partially Native American, which explains my great-grandmother on my father's side and my grandmother on my father's side who had pancakes with corn in it. Alright? Yeah, it sounds gross, right? Trust me, it's a lot grosser than it sounds. Unless you like corn. If you like corn, well, pancakes and corn. Knock yourself out. I don't eat that shit because I don't like corn. I love pancakes, though. They're great breakfast food. Okay, so my black friends, there's the Boys and Girls Club. Now, I don't think it existed back when I was younger, and if it did, well, I lived in the projects, and back then you would probably have to pay for stuff like that, so we had the big children's park and the little children's park. And 9 times out of 10, if I went to one of these parks, I was more than likely going to be the target of some racial bullshit. So I generally just did my kung fu or street fighting in the neighborhood. I never really went to the parks like talking about it unless my friends who were black or white were there. That way I could have somebody who would actually give me a chance to play with. But as a kid in the projects, I had more black friends than white friends, and mixed kids. We all kind of flocked together. But in school, some of those black friends that were friends with me in the projects weren't friends with me at school. Don't ask me why, that's a thing. But as I got older, I learned that black kids have a support group, and there were more adult black men willing to reach out to full black kids versus not so much full black kids. Luckily, I was blessed to be in the Big Brother program. Salute out to my brother Joe Ragnall, because he took good care of me. And he didn't give a damn if I was mixed or not. He took damn good care of me. And I also should be thanking him for that. So again, thank you, Joe Ragnall. He did a excellent job. He was a UVA student, and he actually took care of me. And some of the guys in the projects had other big brothers that also knew Joe. And so, we all kind of did our thing. Joe bought me my very first Thundercat. I still have that Thundercat, by the way. So, it's in the shed somewhere. But I do still have it, and his eyes still light up, Joe, just in case you're watching. But, to be honest, mixed kids don't really have a good support system. However, we are the biggest targets in the room when it comes to location. So at my school, in grade school, and even in high school, it seemed like, and on my job, it seemed like I had the biggest bullseye on the planet in the city of Charlottesville. And these things are things that you who are not mixed don't seem to be able to grasp the concept or relate. I mean, you can see that we're mixed, but you don't really know what that actually fucking means. So let me break it down for you. we're the strange looking kids in class. We're the kids that you look at and say, are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? What are you? Now, this does not like count gender-wise, because you pretty much know if the kid is a boy or a girl, pretty much by name and, since you've been going to school with us since kindergarten, my name is James, I'm a boy, I pee standing up. Now, if my name was Jamie, I could still be a boy, just have a girly name. However, my name is James, I'm a boy, I pee standing up. Now, if I was a girl and my name was Jamie, I would pee sitting down. But all the girls would know that I was a girl, and all the boys would know that I was a girl. Just like all the boys knew I was a boy, and all the girls knew I was a boy. No, it's not that LBGT thing came like way after I got through high school and all that other strange stuff that I had to learn from Degrassi High, the TV show. Anyway, the original TV show with the chick from Hawaii Five-0, Nat Kelly, Grace Park. Anyway, because she's the only, and the girl from Smallville, Christian, whatever. Anyway, because they're the only two I actually remember from the show. I also was in love with both of them. I know, fantasies, man, fantasies. But anyway, so if you're not mixed, then you have no idea what we go through on the receiving end of, are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? Tommy Davidson did a funny thing about Michael Jackson. Am I black or white? You tell me. We don't know. It was on Living Color. Go back and Google it. It sounds way better than I do. But, when you are a mixed kid, most people, when they go home to both parents that are white or both parents that are black or both parents that are Asian, and they have no idea what we go home to. Alright? So my dad only got me in the summertime, and my dad looks black, but his father was black and his mother was Native American. Where my mom looks white, well, her father was mixed with black and white, and her mom is Native American, possibly black, but more than likely she's Native American, but she was raised by a black woman. It's a long historical BS that I'm not going into right now. The point of the matter is, there were outreach programs for young black kids, young white kids, and young Asian kids. There were never really any outreach programs for kids like me, And all through school, it was, you're not a real black person using the N-word, you're not a real white person using the H-word, and you're not really a Native American. Because at the time I didn't know I was part of Native American, and when I found out, I did more research, and looking more Native American to some people was a curse to me in the 3 years that I worked at Kegler's, because of the one dude who wouldn't stop calling me Chief, which would piss me off on a daily basis. And he did that crap purposefully so. I don't know if he was racist. I'm not going to call him a racist, but he definitely was a pain in the ass. So all my life, even my adult life, unless I had mixed friends, which I do have a clusterfuck of mixed friends, you don't really have a support system from grade school to college, because if you didn't meet someone else in the world who was mixed, y'all really don't have a lot to talk about. I could talk with black kids, we can hang together, but then, they see my mom like, God, you got a white mom. And that becomes the topic of discussion. And they never really saw my dad, because my dad only came to pick me up during the summertime, and it was a flyby, pick you up, take you away, bring you back, drop you off, I'm gone. So he never got to meet any of my real friends until I became an adult. Where when he would come by, he wouldn't have to worry about time constraints of getting back to work and shit like that. Because by then, he had pretty much reached retirement age, and he still worked. He refused to retire. So, in fact, he wasn't going to retire until after a lot of other stuff was going on. And he didn't want to retire because he's like, he don't want to be bored. So he was going to keep driving dump truck until he couldn't. And then he died in my car. So that kind of ended that. Because the year he died, he was like 65, I think, about to be 66, and he was talking about retirement, but then he thought about it, and said, I don't really know what to do if I retire, so I don't really want to retire, I'm just going to work. And he said, I might draw Social Security, I might not. So that never came to fruition because he died. But anyway, so, if you haven't met mixed people, and if you're not mixed, then you don't understand the concept of our mixed identity crisis. You don't understand the concept of we're never truly going to fit in, because there's always going to be someone in the crowd who's going to throw rocks, eggs, or tomatoes of judgment at us. And that's the thing. Coming up through school before I found out I was Native American, my only issues were black and white issues. That was really it. The white kids didn't want me because they thought I was going to go tell the black kids their plans. The black kids didn't want me for the same exact reason. You're going to go tell the white kids our plans, so you're not really one of us. You're one of them. And at the same time, if they only knew each other's plans by not telling me that I was going to go tell their plans, they could have had peace, because that was like the one war that they really agreed on. Just like, yeah, we don't really like James because he's not really one of us. He's half one of them. And the same thing, yes, there was a bunch of freaking zebra jokes. Thank you, Jeffersons. Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. Because at the time, didn't know I was part of Native American. It's just black and white. And the only TV show that really had a person on there who was black and white, that was mixed, was the Jeffersons. Yeah, it was like, we don't want you, because I think it was Lamont's wife, who was Tom and Helen's kid, and Lamont was going to marry her, and George Jefferson would always give all the zebra jokes. So I was like, okay, thanks, George. But, there was a lot of that stuff going on. There was very few racial innuendos in Archie Bunker, but in the Jeffersons, George used the hell out of the H word. Never really used the N word, but he used the hell out of the H word. And he used the hell out of the zebra jokes. So you guys can go Google the Jeffersons, watch one episode. I promise you, somewhere along there, you're going to hear the H word. If you watch the whole seasons, you're going to hear the zebra jokes for mixed people. And then there was good times. There was no really mixed characters in there that you could really differentiate. And then, any other show, they just didn't have any mixed characters. So, people like me exist in the world, but we were rarely represented. So again, there wasn't a lot of shows that I could watch, and there wasn't a lot of people at school. It's like 1 in every 7 kids were probably mixed, alright? So when I was in Burley Moran, I don't think I met another mixed kid until like the 5th grade. So, because that was just the way it was. You didn't have that category. You were either black or white, and that's how they was established. But the kids, on the other hand, the kids knew. Because kids are cruel, and they find shit out that they probably shouldn't find out. And I don't know how the hell they do it. But L, as in Lily, Lily T, S as in Sony, Sony W, and then there was Emily and Sharon and other kids. Now, Sharon was my girlfriend, so that would be that. But she was also mixed. But, no one gave her a hard time because she was a girl. But for me, it was, and especially the black girls, you'll never be good enough for black women. That didn't become apparent until I got, into my teenage years where shit started going wrong with me and black girls, and I just stopped dating them. So now I exclusively only date Asians and Latin girls. And that's just my personal preference. I'm more attracted to them than I am to any other girl. Deal with it. Judge me if you must. Anyway, I also date some white chicks. So, you live and you learn. But the thing was, there was never a support group for mixed kids to go and talk to other people who were mixed about our issues. Well, maybe my dad doesn't like hot dogs and pork and beans, and maybe my mom does. And every now and again, I have to eat hot dogs and pork and beans because it's either eat or starve. And then when I'm with my father, my dad, who also was a cook for a living at one point in time, could just make up any kind of meal, and I would eat it because I love my dad, but he never would make me something that I didn't want to eat. Or if he insisted that I try something, he would never give me a big enough portion that it would go to waste, which is why I don't waste food. It's also why I don't ask for food that I know I'm not going to eat. And well, on my mom's little thing, it was, you're going to eat all that food whether you like it or not, or you're not going to leave the table. And that seemed to be a problem on both sides, but mostly on my mom's side. And it was with my uncle's wife in the fish, my aunt Virginia in the greens, and all kinds of other things. So it was really a concept of, when you're mixed, you have a whole lot of stuff that you have to deal with, and you have no one to talk to. I will continue this saga on another day. The house just got loaded with people, so I won't be able to continue this video because people don't respect the damn lights. So thanks for watching. Kung Fu Havoc number 2, BC and